secondary 2 worksheet. Uh, Later on, there will be a QR code with the link to the Google Drive folder to the other worksheets as well. But just for today's one, it's for lower sec English. It doesn't matter whether you open the Sec 1 or the Sec 2 one, because essentially, for the purposes of today's class for lower sec English, we use the same worksheet for Sec 1 and Sec 2 because the skills are the same. Yeah. So I don't want you to be alarmed if you see that it's Sec 2 and your Sec 1 and all that. It's the same worksheet. Yeah. The questions are the same also. So let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Russell. I am one of the four tutors here at Overmark teaching English, together with my colleagues, which are three of them. We cover the entire suite of English language classes at the secondary as well as the junior college level. By training, I'm trained as a sociocultural anthropologist. So, in case you don't know what it is, essentially, an anthropologist is somebody who studies humans, cultures, and behaviors. Yeah. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing actually. Currently. I hold advanced training in Asian Studies. I hold a Masters of Science in Asian Studies, as well as a Bachelor's of Social Science in Political Science. In due course, in a few years' time, I will graduate with a PhD in anthropology, which means that my name at the front will have the doctor, the DR in front. So basically, I have taught English for almost 8 years now. I think I'm entering my ninth year at this point in time at various tuition centers, and also helming a lot of one-to-one private classes. I primarily used to teach a lot of graduating students, particularly those going for PSLE and for O levels. But for this year, uh, because of how the center assigned me, I'm rostered to teach the English language at the lower sec level, which is fine. That's why I'm doing this Zoom webinar today. So apart from doing research and also teaching English, I'm also a qualified yoga teacher. I got my certification last year in May. So effectively, I hold the certification as certified by the Yoga Alliance in the US to teach yoga classes. Okay, any questions? I want to breeze through the introductions because I want to cover the main content more efficiently as well. So I have to do this. I have to share with everyone about Overmark. I think if you are signing up for today, you should know a bit about our center already. But we do have 7 branches across Singapore, covering east, west, north, and south, from Tampines all the way to Jurong East as well. Uh, from our inception until now, we have seen at least more than 1,000 students pass through our doors, through various classes, through various subjects as well, being covered by our instructional team, which consists of more than 50 tutors specializing in different subjects. Of course, we still remain the most popular tuition center online, having 10 over 1,000 students subscribed to our Telegram channel, having, of course, a massive following of 8,000 on Instagram and 5,000 on YouTube as well. Okay. Beyond just offering secondary IP and JC tuition, sorry, I think I might be able to use the laser pointer. Ah, yeah, this okay. Beyond offering secondary IP and JC tuition, we also have primary tuition as well in various centers. But that's helmed by a different teaching team. But just to let you know that that exists as well. So if you have siblings or friends that may be interested in, for example, primary tuition, you can also share with them what we do as well. So, of course, as a tuition center, as an educational center, much of our pride comes from uh, allowing and bringing students to achieve the grades that they want. So, naturally, 70% of our overmarked students achieve very good results at the national exams. If you follow our Overmark Instagram as well. Just a few weeks ago, when they released the O-level results, you can see the influx and the massive number of students sharing about their results. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Their very stellar results in the O-level examinations as well. Of course, we have a vibrant learning environment We have instructors that are experienced. We have instructors that have a very wide range of resources to let you try out and experiment. And by that, I mean literally experiment. So if you go for the science classes as well, there will be sessions that you will basically do the practical aspect of whatever that you're learning in school. Yeah. Likewise, we also have expert tutors as well. Some of them are ex-MOE, they are ex-Learning Lab. They have a lot of experience as well. And much of our graduates go on to complete universities. Go on to attend universities in various places, particularly in Singapore, such as NUS, NTU, SMU, and of course the other universities in Singapore, such as SUTD, SIT, so on and so forth as well. Yeah, so as I just said, right, much of our science classes, for example, offer the option to do experiments as well. So I think this is useful for students. I mean, I don't teach science myself, but I have seen the way that the students do the experiments as well. But I think it's quite useful if you are going for like a practical exam. And you want to practice, for example, I don't know whether you might have learned this in lower sec science yet, but if you do something like titration, titration, which is a chemical procedure where you mix two chemicals itself. If you do titration, I think it might be quite useful for you to get extra practice as well. And then you can use that to your benefit when you do your practical exam in school. So as an overmarked student, if you choose to sign up with us, of course, you have the option, and we of course extend this benefit to you as well. We do have curator notes as well. Curator notes, which means they are basically cheat sheets, if you can think about it. They are basically summaries of the kinds of content that you learn in school and the kinds of content that you need to know for your exam. We have also weighted assessment revision. So, just to share with everyone, because I teach the lower side English cluster myself, um, at the end of the current term, which is starting today, this week, there is a weighted assessment, not a weighted assessment, there's like a quiz, a time practice of the entire paper two section for our students. So if you want to use that as a sort of revision, we'll be doing that at the end of this term, which is in 12 weeks' time. Um, we also have mock exams as well. So I think closer towards the final year exam period, we will have a lot of opportunities for us to practice and also have various opportunities to do these kinds of exam papers as well. Then we'll discuss them in class. Yeah, there's also science practical notes and there's cheat sheets and there's also after class consultations as well. Particularly for me, for my students, I do have had a few students who will stay back for about 5 to 10 minutes maybe after my class, and then we will go through some of the things that they might be a bit unsure about. So if I just give you an example, there are a few students who don't really know how to do a summary. And because we have to cover the content in class at everyone's pace, I do stay back to speak to some of the students who might have a bit more difficulty. So I just let you know that that is an option as well. If you like to eat snacks as well, it's not on the slide, but if you like to eat snacks as well of various kinds of nature, potato chips, Oreo, what's that biscuit called? Dewberry. We also have a fully stocked pantry that we allow students to basically help yourself to during or after the class itself. So I think if you have been or if you are currently an overmarked student itself, you would know this best. But if you are new to the concept of overmarked, that's something that we offer as well. Yeah. I see the chat vigorously going through at the same time. So let me just respond to some. I think, okay, let's go through. Okay, let's go through the few questions very quickly. I mean, I just see yes, yes, okay, yeah. There's nothing to respond for that. I see some people saying that you had the English WA already. Yeah, so unfortunately, because I tried to I think later I will show you a slide with some of the other WA revisions that are going on, but I tried to push my WA revision to be as early as possible. So I think mine is like one of the earliest. The rest are all happening next week or the week after. But I hope if those who have not gone for your WA, at least you will find today's one helpful for you as well. But if you have gone for it, uh, of course, I hope that the tips that I share will be useful for you as well. Yeah, let's see. Zay's code, I think is asking, is the food free flow? Yes, of course. There is basically, yeah, you can, like I said, you can help yourself to as many as you want. I think, I've seen my students basically, help themselves to multiple packets of potato chips, which I don't know, how they, eat that. So I think some people are also asking, are cheat sheets allowed in tests? Unfortunately, no. At this level, reference sheets or cheat sheets basically is to help you to revise. But whatever that you take into the exam, it has to be a closed book exam, which means that there's no reference materials unless you are doing like literature, then you can bring in the text itself. Okay. I think there are still people asking. Sorry, there's one. By curated notes, do you mean you created? No. The curated notes are basically notes that are standardized across the cohort. So they are created by the subject heads themselves, and then they will be shared with the instructors like us, right? But it's essentially the things that students usually get wrong or the concepts that people are not sure of. So if you look at like, for example, the bottom right-hand corner of the slide here. I don't, you will not learn it now because it's a Sec 3 topic, but if you learn something like electrolysis, right? Electrolysis, basically they do a summarized note, something like that, where you basically, it summarizes whatever you need to know for electrolysis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I'm trying to answer. I know, Danny, I know you're very enthusiastic. I have to answer all the questions as well. But I'm just skimming through. I know there are some people who joined late and they expressed that they did not receive the worksheet, so I'm resending the link again. So again, like I said, there are Sec 1 classes offered by various instructors as well. So please, I'm just going to leave this for like 5 seconds if you choose to scan and find out more. And then for Sec 2 classes as well, if you're a Sec 2 student, you can also do that. I think Chalina, I just sent the link inside. Please let me know if you cannot receive it, yeah? I hope you guys keep the chat to a minimal, yeah, and also primarily just just discuss things that are relevant to the class. I think right now I've enabled it to chat with everyone, but if it continues going on about a lot of stuff that's irrelevant, I will have to bar the chat and close the chat, yeah. So yeah, just be mindful of this because I see it spamming nonstop and yeah. Okay. There's Sec 3 as well, and there's Sec 4. Yeah. Yeah, Sec 4. Yeah. Okay. So, of course, if you enjoy today's revision session, please, of course, drop us a review on Google. Yeah. So, I'm obligated to tell you all these things as part of our WA1 revision as well. So, if you choose to attend the other sessions, the other instructors will also do the same as well. Yeah. But otherwise, I think I want to start. How much is the tuition sessions? You have to scan them and find out yourself. There are different rates for different levels. That one I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Any questions at this point in time? Any comments? If you have any issues, you know what? I'm getting a bit annoyed with the chat now, so I'm just gonna change the setting right now because I think it's not productive when it's being spammed with a lot unnecessary things. So I'm just gonna enable it for you to chat directly with me. Yeah. Because later there will be some opportunity for us to answer some questions, and I want to hear what you have written for your answer as well. So I do want to see your responses as well. So my name is Russell, as I said. I put my contact there as well, my email as well as my number. That is my direct number. If you choose to WhatsApp me about the class as well, that you can reach me there as well. Yeah. Okay. So today's class primarily is just an introduction of the different question types. It's a comprehension practice that you have been offered, as well as a recap at the end. Today's class is 90 minutes, by the way. So now that we are already 15 minutes in already, we are effectively left with 75 minutes. But if you have not yet, please scan here for the worksheet. Again, for latecomers, this is another chance for you to access the worksheet. So this QR link that you see on the screen leads you to the Google folder with the other worksheets for the WA1 revisions for the other subjects. So if you're going for the maths one or the mathematics or the science WA1 revisions, this QR code will lead you to those worksheets as well. So if, like I say, if you're going for them, you might want to scan this so that you can get the worksheets earlier for that as well. The recording will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel once it's ready. So if you don't know, we do have a YouTube channel, and this video this morning is being recorded for that purpose as well. Okay, so let's talk about question types itself. So, as you might already know, the comprehension practice or exam at this point in time in secondary school consists of different texts. The first one is a visual text, the second one is a narrative text, and the last one is an expository text. If you are confused and this is the first time you're hearing what expository is, it basically, by definition, refers to informational texts, right? Which by definition are non-fiction, usually non-fiction, because it talks about usually a phenomenon or a kind of event that's going on in society. So for example, things like recycling, things like returning of trays in hawker centers, things like exercising, these are all expository texts. They are not a story, right? So like I said, they give facts about a topic, and they have characteristics that typically talk about things such as descriptions, sequencing, comparing contrast, problem solution, and cause and effect. For English, especially for the O-level exams, I know we are lower side, but let's think far ahead when you go for your O-level exam in 2 years' time, 3 years for some of you. You will need to know the following types: descriptive essays, discursive essays, and argumentative essays. As the name suggests, if you're writing a descriptive essay, you have to describe something. If you write a discursive essay, you have to discuss something. And if you write an argumentative essay, you have to argue something. Yeah. These all are classified as expository texts as well. I thought I should talk a bit about this because the worksheet does write expository text at the top. And some of you might not know what that is, yeah. But this basically is what it means by expository text. This is the part that you need to start copying already on the worksheet. So direct questions itself is a form of questions that some schools also refer to them as literal questions or another literal questions or factual questions. And then you can obviously lift, if you don't know what lift means in this context, it means copy. You can copy information directly from the passage unless the question asks you to answer in your own words. So I think this bullet point is the blank that is on the worksheet itself that you have to fill in. The point is quite lengthy, or the point appears in an irregular form, such as a dialogue or question. I know the blank on the worksheet, which is in the box before question one, has one short blank there, but these are two additional notes that I thought might be quite useful as well. So you might want to use this chance to copy and fill in the notes here. Yeah. And then of course, refer to paragraph three. So I think just to show you some examples of direct questions, usually are things like what is Jane's occupation? Yeah. Oops. Yeah, that is a good way of thinking of it because it's something that you can just copy and paste from the text. Yeah. I'm just gonna hold this slide for another 20 seconds while you copy, and then after I'll move on. Yeah. In the meantime, of course, if you have any questions about the content, please drop them in the Zoom chat as well. Dylan, my exam is on exploratory writing. Unfortunately, Dylan, I hear you, but today's session mainly talks about comprehension. So of course, if you come to class, then we can have a chat separately on expository writing. Yeah. We do have notes on expository writing, but we only can share them in class because today's session is driven at comprehension. Okay, okay, I'm gonna move on, yeah. Inference questions. The root word of inference talks about infer. I mean, it basically is infer, which by definition you can think of it as basically making an educated guess. Yeah. If you have done social studies at Sec 1 or Sec 2 or maybe history, the closest way I can let you think about it is, SBQ, source-based questions that you do, refer to source A, what does source A say about something? Yeah, that's basically inference, right? So when you do a source-based question like that, what does source A say? You're guessing what source A says, right? And inference questions in comprehension are the same thing. You are guessing what this thing happens, right? So again, another blank that you need to fill in, you need to think beyond the passage. And there are some extra notes here that I put. The notes that are in italicized, basically the words that are a bit slanted, are words that are notes that I think you can copy. I know there's very little space there, but you can use either a post-it or you can copy at the top. But these are some notes that can help you as well when it comes to comprehension as well. So you cannot copy and paste. But you, of course, can use information from the passage to identify contextual clues to help you out. And a typical inference question in comprehension will be something like, why do you think Kim felt disappointed after she visited the dentist? Something like that, right? When it starts with, why do you think, right? Usually it's an inference question, right? Why do you think or what do you think? Something like that. Again, 20 seconds to copy the notes, and then we move on. Okay, I'm moving on. So we have today's comprehension practice itself. I think because everyone is seeing it for the first time, maybe it might be more useful for you to read it first and then try out the questions. It's very short. There's only four questions only, but rather than just listening to me talk about the answer and then you have not read and tried it yourself, I think I can give you about, let's see, now it's 10:24, maybe 6 minutes to read and then do the questions. Yeah, the passage is very short, and the questions are very short as well. But yeah, take 6 minutes now on your own to read and try it out. Okay. If you have a printer at home and you have printed it, that's good as well. If you're trying it out on like an iPad or a tablet, also that's fine by me as well. Yeah. But basically do read it through and then we'll start the discussion of the passage in 5 minutes time. Yeah. Okay, it's 10:30. Has everyone at least read through and tried the first two questions? I mean, ideally, of course, it's good if you try all. But I know the time is very short. But we have a lot, I have a lot of slides to go through. Anyone still have not read the passage? Oh, okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't see any violent reactions or objections in the participant videos as well as in the chat. So I assume that everyone at least has at least skimmed through um and at the very least tried the questions. Yeah, because it's very short. Yeah, so I'm just going to start, yeah? So before answering the questions, of course, you need to conduct question analysis. I bold this for you already here of the different comprehension questions. And the things that you need to pay attention to, of course, are things like 5W1H, right? Who, what, why, when, where, and how, right? These usually are the question words that tell you what you need to look for. If I mean the question is asking for who, it's a person, right? If it's when, a time, why, a reason. Then you also look at direction or range. Usually this is limited by the question by telling you or refer to paragraph what or refer to line what, right? That's the range because it tells you where to find the information from. Instructional words, in some schools, they call it command verbs. Oh, sorry, there's a question from somebody. Yes, Andrew, would you like to ask a question? I see your hand up. So, yeah, you want to unmute and ask your question, or do you want to type your question? I presume this is a question about what we're covering right now? No? It's okay. You can just type your question and then I will respond. I'm going to continue. Um so command verbs, if you come to my class, you attend my class, usually I call it command verbs. Yeah, basically things like analyze, discuss, describe, explain, very standard. If you remember your PSLE English comprehension, you will see a lot of explain or even describe. Yeah, these are all the command verbs. Question keywords, which are unique to the question. If they're asking for a person, a reason, we'll see in a short while what the keywords are. They'll be important for your understanding of the question. And then how do the keywords relate to each other? So example of a question will be how does the language in paragraph 6 explain Kiesling's disdain for butter? Something like that. Yeah. This question here, this example illustrates how all these different things actually I think I can let me turn on the pen, yes. The question here essentially illustrates how all these different portions work in hand, right? To show you how the question operates at these different levels. Okay. There's this thing called marking up the text. So if you've heard of it, if you've done literature, marking up the text is basically you can do it in different ways, right? Highlighting, underlining, establishing cause and effect, right? Some people highlight, some people underline, some people circle, some people draw a square. It's up to you, right? But basically, it's I think you can think of it as as sort of an analyzing the passage, right? But like I said, it could be thought of how you do so in literature. Yeah, if your school has taught you how to do marking up text, basically it's the same thing. Uh, who is someone spamming 6 7? I don't think you can chat, right? I saw someone me yeah. I think it's getting very disruptive because there is apparently people spamming things inside the chat that are not relevant to the class itself. So I've just decided to, for the sake of it, to bar oh, they use React. Okay. I think you can just ignore it because I've deliberately pinned my video up so it will not affect anyone, yeah. But just focus on the slide and just ignore everything that's going on, yeah. Um yes. So today's passage is on fast fashion itself. I think as 12, no. 13, 14-year-olds, you might have some understanding or some exposure on the concept of fast fashion itself. But I think even though the passage actually talks about fast fashion, can you think about it and try to explain fast fashion in plain, simple English? That means don't use any of the words that is in the passage, right? If you're able to do that, usually it shows that you can understand what the passage is already because you have digested and you can reproduce the information. But here are some questions to think about. I think if we have this physically in class, then we will spend some time talking about this because it's also useful for oral when you go for your oral exam as well. But other than the brands mentioned in the text, what brands can you think of that are fast fashion? I think this is a good part to hear from different people. So I've enabled the chat to discuss with to directly send to me. So if you have ideas of what yes, I saw someone Uniqlo, yes. Some people do think that Uniqlo is fast fashion. Yeah, I saw some people writing Uniqlo. I think the example given in the text was Shine and ASOS, but there's so many other brands that are fast fashion. Zara, have you heard of Zara as well? Right, Zara is also considered a fast fashion as well. Yeah, Cotton On, yes. So yes, there are many, many brands in our lives that you would already have exposure to that is fast fashion. But then more importantly, do you agree with the effects of fast fashion in the passage? Right? Yeah, I see a lot of people writing cotton on, yes, cotton on. So yeah, there's always this belief that people want to engage in sustainable fashion, but because of the convenience of fast fashion, people still continue to buy them as well. Yeah. So I have a video here that defines.
Fast fashion is a growing industry that significantly impacts the environment. Every year, clothing sales double from 100 to 200 billion units a year, while the average number of times an item was worn decreased by 36% overall. 92 million tons of textile waste is produced every year. An estimated 11.3 million tons of textile waste end up in landfills, which makes 500,000 tons of microplastics. The fashion industry produces 20% of global wastewater. It takes about 2,700 litres to produce one cotton shirt and 7,600 litres of water to produce a pair of jeans. The market size was valued at over £95 million in 2021 and is projected to reach over £222 million by 2030, growing at a CAGR of 10.13% from 2023 to 2030. The industry is responsible for about 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. Today, the two heavyweights of the European fast fashion industry are H&M and the Spanish retail group Inditex, which owns a family of brands, including Zara, Berkshire, and Massimo Dutti.
So, I mean, as you can see from the video itself, it's just 1 minute long, defining and talking about fast fashion. Even brands like H&M, right, which you would have seen when you walk down Orchard Road, for example. It's also another good, or Bershka, right? It's also a good example of fast fashion. But I think I think of fast fashion as a life cycle. Like in science, right, everything is a life cycle. So from the production of it, we can obviously see problems already, right? Because some clothes, for example, can decompose, some cannot decompose. But when you produce clothes at such a big quantity and it's very cheap, right? As you all quoted things like cotton on, I think cotton on things are really cheap, but its quality is questionable, right? You can see things like Uniqlo as well producing these things, and their price is not expensive, right? You can buy a shirt for like $9, $9 or sometimes even $5, right? And because of this, it encourages a lot of consumption because you can just buy, right? There's no pain for you if the $5 shirt were to tear and then you can just buy a new one, right? It's not a $50 shirt or it's not a $500 shirt. But because of that, it basically ends up being a cycle, right? And we call this kind of scenario in academic research as the circular economy. Yeah. I mean, it's not inside the passage, but I thought I would talk a bit about it because some people might not know what fast fashion is, right? Even though you consume it almost every day, but some people don't actually know that it exists. They would just think that, yeah, every shirt that you buy from Uniqlo could be hand stitched by the seamstress when it's not, right? But I want to also use this chance to explain some words that might be a bit difficult in the passage. So, in case these are some words that you might not know the meaning of, this might be a good chance to think about it. So, first and foremost, the word infamous, right? Basically, is the antonym for famous, opposite word. So, instead of being famous, you are famous for something bad. Infamous, right? If you have other words that you are not, Noah is asking what is garment. Garment is basically clothes. So like a t-shirt, a pants, a piece of clothing is a piece of garment. That's it. Yeah. Injustice. Yeah, injustice is a situation where there's no fairness. These are all the definitions that I got from the Cambridge University, sorry, Cambridge Dictionary. Yeah, but I basically rephrase some of it to make it a bit more, a bit easier to understand, right? Myriad is basically a very large number of something, a large variety or something. So if these are words that you don't know, this might be a good chance for you to copy um uh the definition onto your paper as well. Yeah. I don't know whether you might have a good practice, but I can just share with you. Last time I had a student, he was in he was in a primary school. He took the PSLE. And then because his English wasn't so good at the start, he was failing. He was very hardworking, so he had this exercise book where he will basically copy words that he don't know the meaning of, and then he'll write the definition inside. Yeah. And then once he did that, he would compile all these words, and then he will read it on a daily basis. But anyway, this student of mine did very well. He got AL1 for his English, when he went for his PSLE, and then now he's in Raffles. Yeah. Debilitating, right? Making someone physically weak. And then adversely. Okay. Let me explain this. Expediting, right? To make something happen more quickly. Yeah. I see some questions. Win is asking, some cotton on tops are somewhat pricey. Are they cheating us? No, not really. But I think fast fashion itself is a scenario or phenomenon that, has to be understood at different levels of the economy, right? Which I cannot do in today's session because we are a lack of time. And then Noah is asking adversely. I think where was adversely used? Let me search so I can explain in context a bit better. Page 2. Okay, the last line for the first page. Uh, Other toxicants that can adversely negatively impact the health. So if you think about it like that, right? Clarissa is a question. Let's hear from Clarissa. Yeah, go ahead.
You cannot ask question in the group chat.
Yeah, you can type inside the group chat. Yeah,
I mean, like, I cannot type in the chat. It's
you
like,
you should be able to type directly to me though.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So you can just type and then I will read it out. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Last call. Any more words that require explanation? No. Okay. Let's just jump straight to the question and answer it. What time is it now? 10:44. Oh, very good. Very good timing. So first question, refer to paragraph 1. What is the writer's attitude towards the fast fashion industry? Um, so that being said, okay, another question. What does legislation mean? Let's see, where was this legislation used? Legislation. Legislation in page 3. Oh, in the fourth paragraph, governments must also implement legislation dealing. Legislation can be thought of like laws, right? Implement laws. You know, laws, right? Like the law says that you cannot do something that is illegal to kill someone. Legislation. Yeah. Okay. So yes, what is the writer's attitude towards the fast fashion industry? So first and foremost, what question is this? What kind of question is this? When we do comprehension, we always think about the question type. The question type means, is it a direct question? Is it a literal question? Is it an inferential question? So based on the two question types that you have learned just now, and you have filled in the box at the top, direct and inference, what question is this? You can just type in the chat. Is this a direct question or is this an inferential question? Yes, as I see responses pouring in, it's an inference question. And why is it an inference question? And how do we know? Because of the word writer's attitude. When you see attitude, when we do our question analysis, we see things like inference, we know by virtue of attitude, right? There will be such, right? Instructional words, which I talked about just now, refer, it's here, right? And then 5W1H is what? Yeah. Yes, exactly. This person by the name of Zoom user. Yeah, this is an educated guess because it did not tell you directly what the attitude is. Yeah. So you have to guess the attitude based on what they say. Absolutely right. Yeah. Keywords, attitude. And attitude about what? The fast fashion industry. And remember, I talked to you about the direction of the range where you find the information, paragraph one. Yeah. I mean, I know when you see this, you'll be like, oh my goodness, do I have to write so much? No. When you do a lot of comprehension, this becomes very fast because it doesn't take you more than 10 seconds to do for every question, right? I'm just doing it as a very long form because it's the first time you're seeing it. But this is expected for each of you if you want to get um a good score in comprehension. Yeah. Okay. I know some of you are feedbacking that there is a lot of noise from people who are reacting with numbers on the video chat. My suggestion to you is just close the video, as in there's an option at the top that minimizes the video. It says hide the video. Yeah, just do that. Just mute it, right? Um, and then just focus on me. Yeah. Once you minimize the video, you just see my face only. My face has no reaction. Yeah. It's just me talking. Then you won't be distracted. Otherwise, there's an option to absolutely close the video as well. That's fine. You don't need to see my face. Just look at the slide. The slide is more important. Yeah. Uh just wait, sorry. I see a few more responses in the chat. Let's see. How to write what? TN's I have no idea what. Oh, right, the answer. Sorry, yeah. Okay, what is the model answer? Let's yeah, wait, I'm doing the analysis first. Yeah. So of course, the answer is the writer demonstrates a critical, disapproving attitude towards fast fashion. These are the notes here. The answer is in red, yeah, but these are the notes that you might want to copy down to help you to help you reach this particular answer. So um from the portion, we can see that it happens um through words like infamous, cheaply produced, and gets pumped quickly through the stores. Yeah. I mean, of course, when you describe somebody as infamous, you know that it's a bad thing. It's not going to be a good thing. Yeah. Okay. I hope also as you're copying, also think about it. I know there's a lot of emphasis as a student that we want to get to the right answer, to the model answer, which is not wrong. But before getting to the right answer, you need to get through the process of analyzing the question if you want to do well. And this is especially important because there are questions that are 2 or 3 marks long, and there are a few parts that you need to answer. If you jump straight to answer the question itself, you might get some of the parts wrong. Yeah, so it's good to do question analysis as well. If it's oh, is it okay we write the attitude of the writer as not positive? No, it's too vague, sorry. It has to be critical or disapproving, right? Because of the word attitude. Yeah. Attitude requires a what, sorry, can the answer vary? What are the key points? Yeah, this I mean, I think there are some people asking whether alternative answers can be accepted. Can you type in the chat what your answer is, and then I can share with you as well. But as I just said, some students wrote negative attitude. No, sorry, too vague. Cannot. Yeah. It has to be either critical, disapproving, something along those lines, yeah. Serious attitude. No. These words don't suggest serious attitude. In fact, attitude cannot be serious, right? So yeah, okay. Surprise, no, there's no surprise in the way that this person writes, yeah. Okay. Okay, I want to move on already, so I assume that everyone is done. Let's move on. Oh, unis against again, there's no against attitude. That's a mindset that you're against something. It's not an attitude. Okay. I'm moving on. Question two, part A. From paragraph two, why are microplastics from synthetic fibers harmful to the environment? Um, sorry, I just saw one. Phoebe, can I write angry, frustrated? Angry is not an attitude, that's a feeling. Frustrated is also a feeling, so no, sorry. If I ask what is the writer's, how does the writer feel towards this, then yes, angry and frustrated is okay. But because of attitude, you need to use a specific word. Yeah? So why are microplastics harmful? Again, we do our question. Sorry. First and foremost, what question type is this? So again, direct or inference. Which question type is this? Yes, direct. But again, within the family of direct questions as well, there is a more specific type of direct question, which is called your own words, because it forces you to change the words. Yeah, and you can only change the words if um you see if it's offered to you inside the passage. Oh wow, our class has grown in size. We started with 20 over people, now it's like 60 over people. Wow. 60 of you are joining me this morning to go through comprehension. Wow, I'm honored. Thank you. Um, so of course, instructional words such as your own words, why, and the keywords here, as I talked about it just now, right? Keywords are the words that are important to understand the question. So things like these two, right? Microplastics and how they relate to the environment itself. And the range, of course, is paragraph two. Yeah. So do anyone want to venture answers in the chat directly to me and then I can check? Otherwise, the answer basically, there are 2 points, right? Even though for this 1 mark, why are they harmful? Because first and foremost, they contaminate the oceans and they take centuries to decompose. Yeah. So one-to-one switch for it. The first point rephrase, contaminating our oceans will give you polluting, dirty, poison our seas. And the second one will give you require extensive. Claire, do we have to change oceans? Yes, we have to. Because whatever that is not a generic verb or whatever that is a noun, for example, has to be changed, right? So in this case, oceans. I think I can also accept maybe rivers. I know it's not the same thing, but it's close. That's fine. Or another way is water bodies, right? I think that's okay as well. Yeah. Like I said, you try to make it as a one-to-one substitute, but sometimes it's not perfect. But we try to change whatever we can, right? And then of course take centuries to decompose. We are not concerned with the word centuries here. It's just telling you that it takes a very long time, right? So extensive, lengthy periods of time, decompose, disintegrate. Or you can even write something like breakdown. It takes a very long time for them to fully break down. That's fine also. Claire, can I write years? No, unfortunately, centuries is many, many years, like 100 years, right? It's not 10 years. 10 years is a decade, so not a good substitute as well. Are the answers from the passage wrong? Why are the answers from the passage wrong? I don't understand. Dakshayani, you have a question. Can you explain more about your query? What do you mean by the answers from the passage wrong? Anyone wants to float alternate? Okay, I see the chat. Does it come with centuries to decompose without the landfill? Yeah, Gabriel, that's fine. Yeah. The landfill is not the critical part here. It's the duration that is critical. Connect oceans to lake. For Joel, I think you are trying to ask an answer. Can you type out your answer in full because it's a bit difficult to understand what you're trying to say without the rest of the answer. Like contaminating our oceans and taking our centuries to. Yeah, Dakshayani, the question as I wrote here from the passage, you find the evidence here, but the question is asking your own words. So you have to change it to your own words. You cannot write from the passage like that. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Pollute our lakes. Let's see. Yeah, pollute our lakes is fine. That's fine. Yeah. Gabriel, does it, okay. Yep, you're welcome. Claire, do it to change landfill. I just said landfills don't need. It's not the critical part. It's just taking a long period to time to decompose. That's fine. That's the key part. Yeah. I saw somebody else had a question that got surfaced, but then it got changed just now halfway. Fast fashion environmental hazards during the production stage. Contaminants of oceans. Laura, as I just answered just now, the question is in your own words. I'm going to repeat one more time. The question says your own words. Your own words means not copying from the passage. You have to rephrase. Yeah. So that's why we are doing this exercise to rephrase, and we're not copying. Okay. I'm holding for another like 15 seconds to see any alternative answers that pop up. Otherwise, I will move on. Yeah. If you are Sec 1 student, which I think some of you might be, um, I think PSI English also has your own words questions as well, but it's not this difficult. But again, to emphasize, your own words means nothing can be copied from the text, except for things like all these words, to, our, these words cannot be rephrased, right? So action words, verbs, nouns, that can be rephrased, rephrase them. Yeah. I wrote they pollute the water bodies and last for a long time. Pollute the water bodies. Okay, yes, Andreas, that's fine. I'm sorry, Andrew, that's fine. In fact, that's a very good summary of the 2 points. So I think that's a very good attempt. Yeah. Danny, will the exam question listed? Yes, of course. Will the question be listed answer your own words? Definitely. They will say answer in your own words. Okay. What is your contact number to trouble you to join us? I think like I said, for this student who asked whether there's opportunities, later the recording will be made available onto YouTube as well. You can play back this entire recording and then you can check one more time. But if you want me to look at your answers and advise whether your answer is okay, you can type it in the chat right now. Yeah. Okay. So this is a brief overview into what we do in class. Yeah. What I do with my students in class, we do this. Yeah. I will ask everyone for your answers and then we discuss. Yeah. Okay. Second one, I'm moving on already. Give 2 reasons why the health of the animals and residents may be at risk because of textile dyeing. So I'm just going to do this. We do the question analysis for this direct literal. Instructional words is give and reasons. Yeah. And then um why. Yeah. Eastern, what is the channel? What? Oh, the YouTube channel is it? It's just Overmug. Like you just go into YouTube and search Overmug. Yeah. The other instructors who are doing the WA1 revisions have also uploaded their videos there as well, in case you missed it. So if you don't get a chance to catch the WA1 revisions for the other subjects as well, you can always play back. It's available there on public access. Yeah. Keywords, health of the animals and textile dyeing. And the range, paragraph 2. Okay? So this is pretty straightforward. What are the 2 reasons? Untreated waste. Oh, I forgot to mention. Every time you see this pencil on the slide that I put here, it means copy it down. Yeah? I'm so sorry. I realized that I put the pencil in the past few slides, but I forgot to say it. But yes, every time the pencil appears, copy it. It means you need to write something on that slide. Is there EL class in Overmark today? Yes, Clarissa. So for those who are curious, I have a session later for lower side English. It's at 4 o'clock. Yeah, yes, it's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock at Overmark Coven. Yeah. And then I have another one that is on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. at Bukit Timah. Overmark Bukit Timah. Those are the 2 classes that are taken by me personally. The rest of the lower side classes are taken by my colleague Olivia, which I presume some of you all might be her students. Yeah. Is anyone Olivia's student in the current? Okay, I see some people raising up hands. Yeah. So Well, thank you. If you're Olivia student and you come and listen to my um yeah. Okay. Yes. So I see some of your Olivia students. Yeah. You will realize that Olivia and I teach a bit differently, but we teach the same content. The worksheets are the same. It's just that the style of doing is different. Yeah. Okay, so untreated wastewater containing dyes are discharged into local water systems. These untreated wastewater contain heavy metals and other toxicants. As you can see in this question, there's no need to rephrase all these words. Why? Because there's no your own words, right? So why would you change the words if the question is not asking you for it? Yeah? Agree? So that I think as a student you can think about it. If the question asks you for it, don't do it, right? If your friend didn't ask you to show up at his house, you won't show up at his house for no reason, right? Same thing. So follow what the question says. Don't we need to write that it's affecting their health? Um, but that's too generic, right? We're trying to find the two direct reasons why the health may be at risk. If you just write affecting their health, that's just rephrasing my question back to me. It doesn't help me at all. Yeah. So it has to be a specific SO in the end, is it, of the answer? No, no. Because you are giving the reason to explain this already. There's no need to recap the question back for the examiner. Yeah. Anyone wants to, I think this is pretty straightforward. Does anyone have alternative answers they would like to consult? If not, in about, again, 15 seconds, I want to move on to the next question already. No? Okay. Question 3. Refer to paragraph 3. Give one reason why workers are trapped in this 16 to 20-hour cycle. Lines 5 to 6. Question analysis. Direct literal. Give reason and why. Right? Keywords being workers, trapped working, and cycle. And the range, of course, is paragraph 3. Yeah? Okay. Ice. Yeah. Alina. Okay. Oh, sorry. I just saw your answer. Consumer demand continues to skyrocket. Oh, this for this question. Okay, right. Yeah. Um, so yes, again here, right? There are two reasons that you can cite here. Either you tell me that Uh, sorry, Andrew, I don't know which answer is this for. Is this for the first question or the second question? But I want to talk about question 3 first. Yeah. So workers are recruited from some of the poorest villages and rely largely on income to work. That's the first answer. Or you can say they are required to match consumer demand as it continues to skyrocket. You know what skyrocket is, right? Grow substantially fast, right? So if something skyrockets, um, it grows very quickly at one shot. Yeah. Yeah, so I think Elena, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, yes, I mean your answer is the same as mine. Yeah. Okay. Anyone with alternative answers that I need to vet? I think as a student you will be more likely to get to write this answer instead. The first one is something that I think it might require a bit more brain work to arrive at that conclusion. But the second one is a bit more obvious, right? The first one not so, but can be used as an answer to this blank. Yeah? Okay. So while you're copying this as well or checking, marking your own worksheet, uh, again, this is a preview of what we usually do in class as well. You will come prepared. Either we use the class time for you to do the comprehension itself, or sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes you have to bring it back and you prepare the comprehension and then you will bring it to class and we discuss straight away. Okay? And then also, I will talk a bit more about how is this a direct question? Yes, I already did the analysis here already, Joel. So I think you might miss this slide, but I did the analysis here just now. Okay. Question 4, which is the conversation between two people. Referring to paragraph 4, provide two examples that Ski can use to illustrate this view. So answer in your own words. By definition, again, answer in your own words tells you that the question has to be direct literal, again, with an emphasis on your own words. Yeah. You are asked to provide and you're asked to write in your own words. And the instruction, the action word here that you need to look at is what. And the keywords is many ways for retailers, right? So you need to look at examples of how retailers can um, help overcome problems, right, from fast fashion. So from paragraph 4 itself, that's where you find the answer. So because of the your own words again, we are forced to rephrase it. Yeah. So from the passage, we can see that the two points are organizations are looking to reduce their energy consumption and carbon emissions. This is the key part that you need to rephrase. And companies can create items from sustainable fabrics. This is the key part that you need to rephrase. So the first bullet point matches this one, where you rephrase businesses are seeking to decrease their energy use. Another way of rephrasing it is enterprises are aiming to lower their power usage and carbon footprint, right? And then the second one, companies can create items from sustainable fabrics. They produce goods from eco-friendly materials or from environmentally responsible textiles. Okay. I will take alternative answers now under consideration. Let's see a question here. How do we identify when to answer in our own words? I just said the question would tell you answer in your own words. When the question says there's no choice, you have to answer in your own words, otherwise you get it wrong. Yeah? Okay. Jared. Oh, the first one. Jared, are you my student in the current class? I have a Jared also, but okay. Yeah. For the first one, the businesses are seeking to decrease their energy use, but not that they are overcome. To decrease their energy use. I don't I don't understand the question, sorry, Jared. What is the question exactly? Because you capitalize seeking, so is that what you're asking? Whether seeking is the they have not said they can do it. Yeah, no, I think in this case, because the person, the caricature in the question, is saying that retailers can have some ways to overcome the problem. So one method of doing so is to for them to consider decreasing the energy use and greenhouse gas output. Yeah. In fact, actually, there's no choice because if you look at the passage, there's no other two examples that you can use to illustrate this point. So it has to be these 2 points already. Clarissa, then what will you be talking about EL for Overmark today? I will talk a bit about that later, yeah? Manav, how about companies can treat wastewater from dyed fabrics? Where is this from? I don't think this is in paragraph 4, is it? See, let me double check paragraph 4. I don't see wastewater. Did they say? No, unfortunately, sorry, Manav, no companies can treat wastewater from dyed fabrics. It's not. The question says paragraph 4, but the information that you cited is not from paragraph 4 at all. So it violates the question already. Ian, what's the answer for question 3? Sorry, I cannot go back already because we need to move on already. Yeah? So Ian, you might want to refer to the um recording. Claire, can I also add back part of the sentence for the second question about producing items that are more durable? Um, but it's not about durability here though, it's about sustainability. So you can add, but it doesn't answer the question at all. Yeah. So there's no, if you get the first part correct, I can just ignore the second part. Danny, If the question in the exam does not say that we need to use our own words, but I use your own words, what would the examiner deduct my marks? Not really. If you rephrase it and you rephrase it correctly and the meaning is not lost, yeah, you still can get the mark. But if your English is not good, I would urge that you don't do it. Because when you summarize and you change into your own words, usually the meaning will change. Elena, yeah, of course, you may go to the toilet. You don't need to tell me that you need to go to the toilet. Joel, is what? Joel, I don't understand what you're typing, so I'm going to skip your question. Jared, let's go back to yours. For the first one, okay, shouldn't we write that they can reduce the I mean, yeah, you can choose. I think so. What Jared is asking, right? Instead of writing businesses are seeking to, I think you're asking businesses can decrease their energy use. Yeah, fine. It's the same thing. Like I said, the keyword here is not looking. The keyword to rephrase is this one: energy consumption and carbon emissions. Yeah. So not necessary because the meaning here we are trying to capture is this part. It's not about the ability and the intent. It doesn't matter here. Yeah. Joel, I just said I teach on Tuesdays and on Sundays. Yeah. Claire, so if I extra points in the sentence, I wouldn't lose any. No. Again, it depends. If your extra points, inverted commas, don't affect the answer and the first part of the answer you got it right, then there's no reason. So okay, maybe for Claire's point, for Claire's benefit, and maybe for the others also in the call who are curious, if you write something like this answer here, okay, and let me use another color, okay? Let's say you write this answer, the second one, yeah? And then you add some extra stuff behind, which are not relevant. The second part itself does not answer the question at all. It's fine because you already got the mark from the first part. So what the examiner can choose to do is just ignore whatever they have written in the second part. I just choose not to read because you have gotten the mark already. But the situation will change if your extra part is at the front of the answer. So if you had started the answer with the additional part that is irrelevant, right? And the mark, the correct portion is at the back, then the examiner can choose to can choose to penalize you by giving you zero, by giving you this thing called access denied. Have you heard of this? What access denied is in comprehension? Access denied is basically a scenario when students give a lot of information thinking that all this information will get the mark, but a lot of it is irrelevant. So hence the word access, too much, denied, rejected is given. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. Okay. I have a lot of queries. Okay. I want to move on. So this is for part A. Yeah. Second part. With reference, sorry, to paragraph 4, provide one reason that BD can support her view. Likewise, again, direct literal, provide the reason. What, and then government should step in to regulate as well. So I think this is just now somebody asked what it means for legislation. Legislation law it can only be enacted by governments itself. Yeah. And then we see that um, you can do that, right? Yeah. Okay, so here, answer, governments can implement legislation to deal with pollution, to negate the impact of firms. So the first one is the legislation, right? The legislation part. The second one that you can quote is implementing modern slavery laws. So I think some of you might be, are they the same thing? No, they are not, because the first one talks about laws to deal with pollution. The second one is laws to deal with modern slavery. They are two very different things. Yeah. Okay. Anyone wanting to check alternative answers, to discuss alternative answers? Okay. Just out of sheer curiosity, who is a current overmarked student? If you are, can you just raise your hand? Like you don't need to speak. I just need to. I'm just curious. Who is a current overmarked student? Okay. Yeah, I see quite a few of you are current Overmark students. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So like I said, this recording is made available on YouTube as well. So at this point in time, do you have any questions? I put some memes here of I hope you are not this where you feel equally confused, or you're not this cat where you are, processing what's going on as well. But I hope that you've understood. Oh, not done. Okay, quite a lot of people have not completed. Okay, sorry. But yeah, talking about that, does anyone have any questions? Okay. And if you're also asking, will I share the slides? Unfortunately, I will not share directly the slides, but the recording will have the slides already. So if you watch the recording, it's exactly what I'm doing right now. Yeah. You can pause the recording whenever you need to um um go through the materials again. Okay. With that, I think, like I said, if I take it that there's no questions, I want to do a bit of recap um, on some of the stuff that we have gone through today as well. So because we still have a bit of time, it might be good to recap. So what have we discussed today in today's session? We have discussed the nature of expository writing, the nature of expository texts, of what we have covered. We have talked also about the different question types in comprehension. I think this worksheet only covers two, which is direct inference. But if we do the class together, we learn a lot more. We learn code pick, we learn language or impact, we learn global questions as well. There's a lot more different types that you have not learned yet, right? But in today's session, we only can cover this much. Yeah. And also just to let you know, every typical overmark class in person that we have in when we meet in person is 2 hours long. So it's a lot more time. Yeah. Which means that we can do a lot more work. Yeah. We also discussed very briefly the issue of fast fashion and its implications on environment and society. We also have discussed question analysis, yeah, and application, and we also did a guided practice as well. Yeah, I think Justin, I think you have a query, but maybe you just want to type your question inside instead. Yeah. Um, yeah. So just to close moving forward, right? Like I said, there are other WA1 online revisions ongoing. It's not advertisement, yeah. It's just to let you know that, like I said, the English language team at the secondary and the GC level consists of four of us. You can chance upon them when you listen to the other WA1 revisions as well. But of course, for comprehension, like every other thing that you do, please practice and apply all the tools, especially the question analysis, yeah. And also practice rigorously. Start early, be safe and sorry. Don't be a student that starts practicing like the week or the day before the exam. It's too late already, yeah. Start doing it conscientiously, right? And then commit the definitions early to make your life easier. So if you memorize what it means by literal question, just memorize it once and then it will make life a lot easier, right? So for Clarissa, I think you are asking like what will I be covering for EL? So typically for my English classes, we will start with an editing practice. It's going to happen every week now. So every week when we start the lesson, I will give out an editing practice, front and back, so two practices. Everyone spends 10 minutes doing the editing because I realize that editing is something that people are not very good at. Then we discuss, then we will do the worksheet for the week. The worksheet for the week usually can be a comprehension, could be an essay. For this week, for today's class, is a comprehension. It's a very long comprehension. So there are a lot of questions to discuss inside that. Yeah. And then after that, the students will spend some time to do the comprehension, and that we discuss in class. Yeah. Of course, like I said, every week it depends on what the subject head has decided that we'll cover. So some weeks we will talk about situational writing, some weeks we'll talk about oral, Some weeks we'll talk about listening and how to improve your listening skills out. Yeah. Okay. So there are other WA1 revisions as well. There's so many ongoing now. Like I said, mine is the first. Mine occurs on the 8th of February. If you decide to go for the science one, there is one on the 10th in 2 days. There's one on the 14th, one on the 15th, and one on the 11th as well. Yeah, depending on what you think might be useful for you. Okay? Of course, you can see the topics of what they're going to cover already here. Yeah? Okay. Last call, like I've circled here in red, the two classes that I personally take are these two, but there are a lot of other lower sec English classes taken by my colleague Olivia as well. Yeah. So you can consider that as well if that might suit your schedule a bit better. If you don't stay in Kovan or Bukit Timah, I know it's very far, then you might encounter that. Yeah. Win, can I go back to the last slide? This one? Is this the slide you want, Win? Yeah. Okay. I think when you sign up for mine, you will also have signed up for the rest already. But if you have not, you can consider signing up for the rest as well. You can attend my friend, my colleague Chun Guan's revision session. Chun Guan is very funny. I think you would. Hassan is also very funny as well. I think that you will find their classes to be very entertaining. Okay. Is there a way to take public transport to your center in Kovan? Yes. You can take to Kovan MRT station and then walk. It's like a 5 minutes walk. Yeah. Just like cross the road and then it's the center already. It's very near. Okay. If you're Sec 2, likewise here as well. For overmarked English, for lower and upper Sec, we combine. So Sec 1 and Sec 2 will be in the same class. Sec 3 and Sec 4 will be in the same class. Like most other centers, they do the same as well. The reason is because the skills are the same. Yeah. Lower Sec skills and the information that you need to know is confined to lower Sec. Yeah. If not, with that, actually, I'm done already for today. So thank you everyone for joining me this Sunday morning. I will still stay back until 11:30 if anyone has